You're all ready to go.
All right, welcome Litchfield, and welcome to the December 5th meeting of the Conservation Commission. We'll start off with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, roll call. Joan.
Joan McKibben, member.
Here.
Harry Manziglia.
Matt Hoffman, chair.
Jason Brennan, vice chair.
George Lavash, currently alternate.
John Burdell, second rep.
All right, since we're down, George and Diane, George, Fred, all right, Fred. George, would you like to be a voting member for tonight?
Sure.
And Michael Croto was.
Michael Corotto's not here as well.
Diane's going to be here next month. She messaged me. She had elbow surgery last week, had a lot of pins put in there. She's very concerned it's going to mess up her golf game, but she said she'll be back.
All right, good. And Fred did let me know he's going to be a little bit late tonight.
All right, cool.
All right, public input, since we don't have anybody here, we can jump on to new business. So, Jason, would you like to give a update on DeRocher?
Pull the plug here. Okay, so there's been quite a bit of progress with the DeRocher property. See if it fires up here. Harry, I'm going to give this to you. And Joan, right there.
Good.
Okay, so quick holistic update. Environmental study done, wetlands done, test pits done, survey is done. The surveyor, we met with the surveyor and they sketched in a potential subdivision line that you can see on the screen here in red. And we presented that to the DeRochers. We went back and forth just to address some of the concerns that they had, and we ended up doing a little bit of modification on the subdivision line. So let me back out a second. Let me go holistic here. All right. Rushing this, hold on a second. So we had the survey completed. The blue lots that you see here on the screen are the results of the survey. They surveyed 3 lots. Lot number 1, which is to the east side of the yellow line, is 3A. The red is the storage building on the east side of 3A. The other red here is the house on the west side of 3A, to kind of get your bearing straight. The lot on the east side of 3A ended up being 42 acres. Fred and George located, and Matt and myself actually a little bit, they did the tough work, ended up locating a lot of these bounds, and they were pretty much perfect with the exception of one, so it greatly helped out the surveyor. So the lot on the east side of 3A is 42 acres, and then there's 2 lots on the west side of 3A. They ended up being 11.2, I think that says, and about 11.6 on the west side of 3A. So that's where we're at right now. That acreage is pretty close to what we expected. If you look at the assessing records, these are actually a little bit higher than 11 point something acres. I think they're each 13 acres, so we're down about like 1.5 acres on that side, but I think we actually gained some on this side. So the blue are the existing conditions. So the next piece of the puzzle is to figure out where the subdivision line is going to be, where they're going to carve out the house and where they're going to carve out the storage building. They have about up to 5 acres to play with per the purchase and sales agreement. So the red lines that you see here on the map are the proposed subdivision lines that were put there by the surveyor. Okay, we presented that to the DeRochers. And they had a couple of comments on that, and so I'm going to go to the next page to kind of show you where the comments were. Okay, so And zooming in on the house and on the storage building, the original property line is this dash line going down here. And one of the things that they wanted is they have a stone wall, or excuse me, they have a wall right here, right next to their driveway. And the property line, the property marker is about 3.5 to 4 feet from that wall. They requested that they get a little bit of extra space just in case they have to work on the wall or bring a truck in. So we agreed to give them an extra 10 feet over here. Joan, when we bump this out 10 feet, you know, the road that goes down there, it doesn't touch the road. So the road is still 100%, would be 100% on our property. So that was the one change that we made there. So kind of bumped it out to the north a little bit. So original was the dash line, and now we're the red line. On the east side of 3A, what they wanted to have is they wanted to have at least 2 acres, because once you get to 2 acres, there's like more that you can potentially do with it later on down the line. So we got them at just about 2.1 acre, rounding up to about 2.1 acres. When you take a look on the other side of 3A, on the west side of 3A, what we ended up doing is we ended up having a 22-foot strip of land that we're gonna own, which is the road that goes to the blueberry patch. And then it opens up to everything out back. And then they're gonna own the red, which is the 2 acres in this area right here. The slice of land down here, that's 22 feet, that covers the road. They end up having the ditch, there's a drainage ditch, I'll show you another map there in a second. That's in the back of their house that they're gonna own, and that ends up being the 2 acres that we discussed.
So Jason, just the road that circles the current farm fields and stuff, that would totally be on our property, right?
Yep. So if you look at an aerial map of this, so the surveyor not only did surveying, but they put a drone up in the air. And you can actually see where the drone target is right there. They put a drone up in the air and they actually did aerial photography of it and got a really nice ortho image of the area. The white line that you see, let me kind of get the white line that you see right here is the proposed property line. You can see that we split the opening in half so that we get essentially one side and they get one side, so they can get a truck around back, and then we can also get cars down there as well. I was hoping that we could get, you know, this line closer to the trench, but for them to have the 2 acres, we had to bump it out a little bit. So that's where we ended. So we end up having, you know, basically the whole road around this field. But, you know, the line here is kind of splitting the middle of where.
Yeah, well, it looks like the existing plot is encroaching a little bit on Wilson's land or whoever that is.
Yeah, right there. Yep. Let me see if I go across to the other side here and just see here. They originally asked to own back here. They wanted the property line to come out back behind these trees so they could own this little road right here. But we all just sat down and talked about it and ended up just coming over to our side, and it's gonna end up being our property.
Was there a culvert or drainage or something that?
Yeah, there is some drainage back there, and there's a culvert back there as well.
Okay.
So that's that. The only little bit of a concern that I have is that, you know, the property marker is gonna be right here, and that's kind of where you drive down.
Yep.
But we have to be careful that we don't go under the 2 acres. So, I mean, if anything changes around, something might be changed in here. And I actually did talk to them. I said, hey, is there any chance we could maybe get an easement for behind here? Because this can't be used anyway by anybody because there's a wetland right here. You know, maybe we could get an easement for right here so we can.
Well, that road is fairly wide. That was the road you came out from the Blueberries. Why would you need an easement there?
Just so the white line would be our property line, and the road is wide here. I don't know. just in case
Just
wanna
just
mow,
not
people could park.
a distinctive division right now, the way that it is. Can you just
Yeah.
zoom out a little bit, Jason?
It doesn't really zoom out much more than that.
Okay.
And that corner where you said the bound would be, they could iron pin that instead, pound something in, instead of having a big monument there. Well,
Yeah.
it's not really in the road.
Yeah, the road comes down here and then.
Oh, and then, yeah.
I'll have to take a look at it. The one thing I said we would do, I gotta maybe get out there tomorrow or Saturday, is go out and pound some stakes in about where these locations are, just so they can get a visual.
Yeah.
I think lastly is I sent the plans out to everybody. The time frame is that we want to get this in for the planning board, the first meeting in January at the planning board, we want to go in for a subdivision. And in order to do that, we need to get the plans into Joan by December 17th, which is in like a week and a half. So by next week, we need to kind of nail this down, get it over to the surveyor. Surveyor's going to develop the final plans and send everything over to Joan.
And I can get a PDF with that as well, electronic copy?
Yep, yep. So that's essentially, that's what I sent around in the email. So the current PDF is up on the site, in the portal.
So what do we need to do before we can finalize it?
Input. You know, I'm kind of doing this on my own. I want to make sure, I ran it by a lot of folks here. There were a couple of comments, but.
I think the lines are fine, obviously, but I have a question about what happens to the property what happens to that property? They sell that, do we get the right to refusal, first right to buy
You
it?
mean the parcels that they own, the two
Yeah.
pieces they own?
I mean, I'm more concerned about this side, which is really part of that Croucher side. The home is a different issue, but if they were to sell this lot, would we get first right to refusal?
That's not written into the purchase and sales.
Okay.
But I mean, we could talk to them about it.
Because I'm just concerned that, what happens if something goes in there that it's not,
Yep.
conducive to what we're already doing in the back, and we continue to farm it, and something else goes in there, right?
It's a nice piece too, I mean. on
Yeah, I
the-
was actually surprised, I understand you had the 2 acres because of the lot size requirements, but I was surprised they were keeping that much of the land, but it makes sense.
Yeah. They also wanted the ditch, just so that they could make sure that the ditch is maintained.
Yeah, because there's a requirement for us to maintain it if they didn't have it, right?
There's no requirement for us to maintain that ditch.
Okay.
There is gonna be a requirement on the other side of the street
Okay.
to maintain those ditches.
And have we figured out how we're gonna maintain those ditches?
Yes, we're gonna hire a person with that machine that we have and grind it up. I think that's the easiest thing to do. I don't think it has to be done often, once every 10 years or something.
That 2 acres, under the standard, the way that we're operating now, if they sold it and we weren't able to purchase it, and somebody wanted to come in and put housing in there, now, could they with those 2 acres?
Yep.
Is there,
They could put one more house in there,
Oh, they could put two, they've got plenty of
Two, if they
frontage.
took down the warehouse, right?
if they took down the warehouse.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm assuming that the warehouse would go. So they could possibly,
Well, wait a minute, they only got
No,
280.
Yeah, they need 150 for frontage.
Yeah, so they need 300, yeah, you're right, it's a little
now,
one.
but they couldn't do what's being done at the horse farm.
No, they're not in the multifamily district.
Pardon?
They're only in the residential district, they're not in the multifamily zone. They
So
couldn't
it's
do-
not zoned
Right, for multifamily.
for multifamily,
They could ask for a variance, but
okay, well. Okay, no, it just.
More than likely, someone would keep the storage building. It's a beautiful building. It's not falling apart. I went in there. It's really nice.
Oh, I could see it being used as conservation storage.
Yeah. It's too big.
For now.
for now.
And they
We got
would, someone could put a house in the
$1,500 next year.
field. What was that, Matt?
So if we have our $1,500 budget for next year, we can burn, we can.
Fill that up with stuff from Harbor Freight. So I'd like, maybe not now, but if folks, I know, George, you took a pretty good look at it. If the folks on the commission could just take a look at it and,
I can tell you right now, I'm happy with what you got.
I think it's pretty good. And we're trying our best to work with them.
No, I think you're doing good.
Yeah.
It did straighten out the tax map on the a little .76 house lot to the north.
Yep,
I was just looking at the tax map's not right, so we can straighten
this
that.
one right here.
Yeah,
That tax map is messed up,
Yeah.
Joan. It
It was
follows the brook.
right, and tax map doesn't, so we can get that straightened out.
In talking with them, by the way, it's like a pleasure working with these folks. We sit around the kitchen table.
You mean things have changed?
It always has been. I mean, you gotta think about it. It's been in their family since 1945
40-something, yeah.
or something like that. So, I don't blame them for being like concerned, but, so there were a couple of things that we need to figure out that I don't think are deal breakers by any stretch of the imagination. We just gotta figure out where to put it. They want us within 2 years to clean out the ditch behind the house.
And what do they mean by clean it out? Just so.
Why? I mean, what's in the
Just
ditch?
so it doesn't clog up.
Right.
And so water
it's
flows.
flows.
If we don't clean it up, the water could impact their property.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. That's
reasonable.
reasonable.
And they want to make sure, and it's got to be written somewhere, and I don't know, and this, maybe Joan, this is where you can help out, I don't know if this is a note on the plan, or if it's something in our documents with the state. With the state, we have to develop a quick-hitting land management plan that we have to deliver to it, and it's that should be all tied to everything, so that might be enough to carry some weight. They want to make sure that if we're saying we're going to clean out the ditch every X years, that it's not like written somewhere where it doesn't hold any weight, so we need to make sure that hold weight.
They want a management plan on any properties that any conservation group is taking. They want a management plan going forward.
Yep. So, clean out the ditch within 2 years, and then like routine ditch maintenance as needed, which might be every 10 years. And then the other thing was minor, in that we just need to figure out, and I don't even see it as an issue, but like, for example, their septic system is down in this area, and the septic truck uses like this road to get down there to clean out their septic system. So we need something, I even said to them, maybe we can like make a motion on that.
We would need an easement for the truck would go on our property,
Yeah, and
and
we.
we'd have to give them an easement.
I would rather not give them an easement, because that causes problems with the state. That's gonna be like a whole 10 extra layers.
Okay.
I would hope that we can like work it out another way. Either some sort of motion or in the management plan or something like that.
So any
Anybody.
Any resident could drive down that road, right? Do we need to give them explicit access?
I think we could just do it through a motion and say
Yeah.
we allow them to go down, we allow them to use the internal roads to maintain their property. And I think they just want something printed out
So
that they can stick it in their folder.
Yep.
So
And
we
then-
can provide that straight through the minutes, right?
Yep.
Or just, could you do it on a deed then, just say they do it on a deed itself? So it sticks with it?
Possibly. I don't know.
No.
I don't know.
I mean, it's public, to your point, it's a public way anyway. so-
It is a public way, right?
Yeah, we're allowing the public to go back there, then why couldn't they go down it too?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm
Because
with-
that's our point of access to that land,
Yeah.
right? So it's always going to be a road.
Yeah, so we're gonna control access, right, if we open it or close it or
There's
whatever,
the
that's,
road.
that's
And
on
there's the
us, right?
property line way back
Yeah.
here, so
Hmm.
shouldn't be a problem.
So that doesn't seem anything insurmountable, right?
No,
No.
I think so.
Yeah.
So should we make a motion for it now, just to have it,
Well, we don't own the land yet, so maybe we should own the land first.
Well, I just, I mean, I just want to make sure it's not an issue for closing on it.
I think the minutes will say that we're in favor, we just gotta do it officially.
Yeah, well, maybe we could make a motion to, I don't know how to word it,
Well, once
but,
we own the land,
yeah, that,
after ownership,
after ownership, yeah, something like after ownership, after we own the land, we don't have any issue with the DeRochers using the roads to maintain their property.
DeRochers
Do you want to
or any-
craft a motion since you're good with the
Or
word?
DeRochers, or anybody forward that owns the property, beyond them.
Yeah.
I forget how you word that.
What do you guys think?
Hey, Fred. Yeah, I think we should do it just to get it,
So we don't forget.
something documented that we can pass them, just to make sure it's not
All right.
hang up for closing.
Trying to think how to word it. Because we don't own the land yet, so we can't make a decision on the land. So I want the motion to basically say we're not gonna have an issue with it.
Just say that we're in favor of,
All right. Let me do it this way. I make a motion that we send a letter to the DeRocher family stating that when the Conservation Commission owns the property, that we have no issue with them using the internal roads of the property to support management of their land.
sounds reasonable.
Sounds good.
yeah, sounds fine with me.
Do we have a second?
I second that.
Okay.
Sorry, so we have a motion from Jason, second from George. Any discussion?
So it was no issue with the DeRochers maintaining their property,
Yeah,
Using-
using the internal roads
using the internal roads?
to help them maintain their property. Just one discussion on that. I think we would have another more formal motion after we own the property and maybe put some stipulations on it. Like, I don't think we want them, yeah, I don't know, if they have to replace their septic system and cranes are going down there, come to us first and just, so that we know about it,
Yeah,
yeah.
All right, a note for Matt Sullivan, Michael Croto, and Fred French have joined us.
Uh-oh,
No, that's fine.
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah,
it's-
okay.
We're good, we're good.
Yep.
All right, sorry.
Wake up.
A show of hands for vote, all in favor?
aye.
Aye.
So motion carries, 800.
Yep.
No, you can't have 8,
3, 4,
should be-
5, 6, did you say 7?
7.
Seven.
Oh, my miscounting.
I
So,
think,
Fred,
go ahead, George.
I am voting, Fred is not voting.
I didn't vote.
He didn't vote.
Okay,
1,
okay,
2, 3,
okay.
4,
So-
5, 6, 7.
Oh, Diane's alternate also, so.
Diane is an
Yeah,
alternate.
That's where we got it, okay.
Okay, no problem. You can call me Fred if you want.
Martha, whatever, no?
All right, I had to crack one open after that discussion.
One thing, we all owe Jason a big thanks for his persistence.
It's not done
This
yet.
was- But it was a lot of work in this to this point, so it's definitely,
No
definitely
problem.
appreciated.
Yeah.
We're getting there. So unless anybody's got anything else on this, I think we're good. Okay. Please just take a look at the plans, and if you have any comments, let me know. I'll shoot out an email this week, contact me individually, and, but we need to nip this in the bud by,
Yeah,
Next week.
the only question I have is just where we have, where it's kind of where the road, on the south side of the property.
Yeah.
On the east side. I don't know if we have to do anything to adjust anything there.
the line is accurate. If if the people that are farming are spilling over onto the Wilson's property, we're just gonna have to talk to the people that are farming. Maybe put up some tape or something like that.
Yep.
Oh, on the piece that would be ours, you mean? To the east?
Yeah, just the access road to loop around it, because if we have people going down there, they'll probably want to potentially loop around the
Right.
property, so we either have to, mark the road to keep people on our property, or
You know,
tweak the
on
field a little bit.
Picture that you gave us, it clearly shows that they're farming on some of Wilson's
Well,
property.
just, what, from the blueberries, you mean, from over here?
Yeah, right here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Where-
easy to tweak, it's
Oh,
just something we'll have
okay.
to adjust, we just want to make sure we're
And they're
good
farmers, it's a
neighbors.
foot or 2 feet, whatever, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
we just want to make sure we're good neighbors, that's all.
Right, yeah,
It's one extra swipe of the tractor that probably went around and,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. We'll figure that out. We'll
Yeah.
put some stakes up and say, hey, stay inside these stakes. Maybe
Yeah.
a trail could be put down, or not
Stay
a trail,
inside the
but
lines.
a road that we can drive around and at least be on our property.
yeah. If we put that road, or we designate it as a road, then there's no issue.
All right, any other,
Oh, one other thing on this, we should, one of you that are good writers, send something to NHACC to get in there monthly or
Oh,
every so often.
okay.
I mean, we're close to, maybe
Um,
when it gets, signed, sealed, and delivered.
I do have to do like a couple of, I've been asked by L-Chip to do a couple of social media posts. They want to be tagged and stuff like that. So I'll do that in the next week or so. But,
Do you have the expertise in
yep,
order to do that?
yeah,
Okay.
I got the marketing skills.
Okay, all right.
We'll get some reels, we're gonna put out some reels, we're gonna do some Snapchat, the whole 9 yards,
Okay.
multimedia.
Perfect.
Yeah. If not, I'll talk to the marketing department.
It's a big department too.
Yeah.
No, it is.
any other discussion on DeRocher before we move on? All right, next up is Winter Fishing Derby. So hopefully we'll actually get a winner this year and be able to host
I don't
it.
need it yet.
Disappointing.
So I think the big thing we need to do is, which I don't believe we've done yet, is just decide on a tentative date so we can start planning.
All right, so the Winnipesaukee Fishing Derby is February 7, 8, 9, I think, or, so, yeah, that weekend. And then February 14, 15, 16 that's President's Weekend, so we probably don't want to do that one. So maybe February the 22nd. That's late enough in the season that we have
And
enough.
that's school vacation stuff.
And that's mass school vacation, I
No, the
bet.
21st starts New Hampshire school vacation,
Huh. Eh,
21 to 28,
You think,
or 21
I mean,
to 22.
otherwise we'd have to go February 1st.
And that's probably too early.
Yeah, so no, I
it's
think
cold
that's good.
then.
We can talk to the school board, see if they can shift the vacation.
Vacation.
Yeah, but, so the
22nd would be good, because then
Yeah.
the longer you can wait into the season, you might have ice.
Yeah, that sounds
sounds fine?
sounds good to me.
All right.
As far as logistics for it, so I think between a few of us here, we have enough to probably provide 30 tip-ups or whatever, right?
At
Equipment to
least.
drill holes and,
Yes, yep. And, we can drill a hole, they give them the whole experience. We could have some pre-drilled holes and they could just go and set up the tip-ups, or we could, show them how to drill and set it up.
Yep.
And show them how to jig. We've got a whole, we could even use maybe some of the small little rods we have and let the kids jig if they
Yep.
wanted to, using the existing push-button rods that we have already. So, I think we have enough. We don't need to really go out and buy anything. The only thing we'll have to do is buy bait.
get some minnows, yeah.
Yeah.
So that should be easy. How about,
Guppies.
do we need to notify or get permission from a fire department and police department, or?
I wouldn't think so, but I will reach out to them and let them know that we're doing it. Just
They might give the green light that the ice is safe.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that would give a little comfort.
Right,
But I think
I did work with the fire chief last year, okay, so I was going back and forth with him about that, so that they would know. And we probably should coordinate with rec.
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah.
So I am going to present to rec on Tuesday, next Tuesday.
Oh,
So we're going to be reaching out, Judy Brennan is going to be trying to get us a grant to put a dock in at Darrell Pond. So I've gone out and found prices for a 30-foot by, or 30 or 32 feet by 6-foot wide aluminum dock that we would be able to roll in and out of Darrell Pond. That would allow for fishing. It's 6 feet is, a little bit wider than the normal 4-foot, but it'll allow more room for kids to fish off of it and stuff
Now,
like that.
here's an interesting question. Do we want to consider inviting St. Francis?
To the fishing derby, yes.
Yeah, it's for the whole town.
Yeah.
It's not school-specific.
Yeah,
Okay,
Yeah.
well, I'm talking the ice fishing.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. It-
well,
it-
the marketing department will come up with a flyer.
We will advertise it, and I do have that woman's contact information, I believe.
well, I have the principal's
principal.
email address,
Okay,
so I can get hold of them,
okay,
because I have something else to bring up about that. but-
Yeah, it sounds good. I mean, we probably won't approach them till, after our January meeting, right?
exactly, we'll push it at the end, towards the end of January, early February, we'll,
Okay.
So the only question, do we have to, notify, Fish and Game or the state in any way? Because we're
I
gonna
don't
have
remember.
kids fishing without
Yeah, I
licensed
probably
adults.
do.
yeah, I will take care of it.
Yeah.
Once we, now that we have the
Yeah,
date,
some fish, though.
so I dealt with them previously, so, we're fine.
Good.
What's
Yeah,
the
you
date
just-
again? What we,
February 22nd?
I think that's fine. Even if it's school vacation week,
There'll still be kids around.
Yeah, we gotta pick a date, so we need a.
it's not necessarily kids fishing derby, or is it a kids fishing?
No, I
derby?
mean, anybody who wants to come out, who hasn't ice fished before.
I've never ice fished.
I mean, some people have never done it, and so we can teach them how to do it, right? So, and, prizes will be probably minimal, you know what I mean? But it's more about just catching the fish and, getting them out there. But we'll do some kind of prize.
Yeah, we got our auger now for the postal there and stuff, that they have a nice attachment for that. Maybe we can get a donation to cover that as well, so we don't have to wear out your drill.
Okay, yeah, my auger will not get worn out. It'll be, but if we determine that we need to get an auger attachment, that's fine, or we could even just see how the postal thing wouldn't work, that auger.
No, you definitely need but it's like $90
Oh,
to get the ice blade for it. And I have a hand auger too, I can bring out for the kids to try out
Yeah.
and stuff too. So
Yeah, and I got a hand chisel, we could,
we'll make it fun.
yeah, so should we make a motion, should I make a motion that, we are going to have the ice fishing derby on February 22nd, just so that,
yep.
we don't get struck down by lightning?
I'll second it.
Sounds good. So we got a motion by George, second by Henry. Any discussion?
Harry.
I'm sorry.
Our new member.
Names are not my strong point. Any discussion? All right, show of hands for all in favor? All right, motion carries 7-0-0. All right, moving on to old business. Morris Falls sidewalk update. So Joan, you had an update on that?
I do have an update, finally. And I sent you an email today. I don't know if you got to read it, but I'll go over that. The person I was dealing with since last July left Fish and Game on November 15th, I just found out. So I did talk to, originally she had in her email said, check with this other person, and then he sent me to Stephen Walker, who is Conservation Land Stewardship Program. He's working with Fish and Game because Fish and Game is down 2 people. So I had a long talk with him today, and what I need from the marketing division is, I need to send him something that clearly shows how far the sidewalk would be from the edge of pavement and from the fence that we have there, and how wide the sidewalk would be. Then it goes to the Lands Committee of Fish and Game. He wants them to be able to visualize exactly what's happening, and that would probably answer most of their questions.
So it needs to be a higher resolution than like what you can get from.
Well, I have, and he wanted the boundaries, I have this boundary survey of the Morris Falls property, but of course it doesn't show existing conditions there, just a boundary survey.
Maybe.
Joan, what I can do is I can take the Reggie drawing that he provided us,
Yeah,
and I can superimpose that on top of the aerial image so that it's lined up pretty much perfectly. Would that suffice?
can you put dimensions on there, footage from,
Yep,
we don't know where the right-of-way is, but we can see the edge of pavement.
yep, I can do that. What I'll do is maybe we'll shoot an email to Reggie and just see if we can get the CAD file for that. And it'll just plop right on top and it'll look like what the DeRocher aerial photo that I just showed would be. And we can take measurements and make sure it's clear.
Okay. I think that was still Eric Mitchell that he used for Corning Farm. So I don't know. If
Would
I-
you be able to just shoot him an email
PDF.
and ask for that? Just see if you can get the CAD file.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be formatted or anything like that, just the raw, just say raw CAD file.
Okay,
Just so that they don't have to do anything with it, but if they hand it over to, if they send it to us, it'll plop right in.
okay.
We'll be able to work with it.
All right, I'll try that.
We don't need more detailed photos than that, right? I would think that'd give them everything they need.
Right.
If they need drone shots or whatever.
And he said, you know, they try to push this along, hopefully by spring we would be okay. And we talked about pavement features, and I told him why we wanted pavement, and that would connect up to other properties. And I think that was it. He's been to that property before, Stephen Walker, because they walk it for, checking easements and things. So he remembers the property. And he said, you know, it's been kept in good condition.
All right, any other discussion for the sidewalk for Morris Falls? All right, Parker Park Bridge update.
Yeah, is this the last one?
I think so.
Maybe.
Got pictures of the signs when we put them up.
Yeah.
Do we get the trail markers? We have pictures of those?
I don't have those. Can you give me the,
Yeah.
sorry, and so this is.
I did put the pictures of the trail markers on the, oh, you didn't put them in your,
I didn't put them in my
Oh, okay.
thing, I'm sorry. I only have a couple. So let's see if we go here.
dun, dun, dun.
All right, so this was bridge number 1 in its initial state when Tom Schofield and his team came in and did the bridge initial. So just 2 weeks ago or so, maybe it was 3 now, they did an update to it. And so now this is the exact same bridge, pretty much the same angle, but you can see that it looks much better with the angled supports. It does make it quite a bit sturdier.
Yeah, it's very solid.
Yeah.
It's extremely solid now, it looks better, and, you know, he calls it his railroad bridge look, truss look. So that tied that bridge up. So I did put in some safety measures, some restraining straps here. Now, so these are 3/8 inch cable, is that what it was?
It's 1/4 inch, but
A 1/4 inch cable, and it's doubled up here, and it goes underneath this root. So this is the upstream portion here, and this is through bolted through the bridge. So if we were to get a flood, the bridge is pretty heavy, and there are some stakes into the ground as well, but this is just a little deterrent to keep it from floating downstream. And this is, again, another picture of a different branch that we used. Okay, so that's the later presentation. So that's all I have on the bridge, is that we've put in these restraining straps. They finished bridge number 1. So I think we're about done with those, the bridges.
Do you have a
think-
picture of the upstream of Bridge 1? There's a huge loose log, I don't know how
Yeah.
loose it is.
Upstream
street.
of Bridge 1, there's a huge what?
This
Tree that's
tree,
uprooted.
yeah, so
Yeah.
if you got a big flood.
We've checked it out.
Is it pretty solid in there?
Well, let's just say it didn't move last year, okay?
No rain.
So, and it was pretty high last, so that has been there for multiple years. We could try to pull it out.
No, I wouldn't pull it out, I just was wondering what happens
Yeah.
if it floats, it starts floating.
Um,
But that bridge is pretty secure with what we have now, so I think the bridge would stop it.
Okay.
yeah.
I mean, after it starts to deteriorate over the next couple of years, then we can look at when looks like it, that'd probably be the time to pull it.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have a picture, I probably do have a picture, but I don't see it.
Yeah, I'm looking for did you create a new folder, Google folder? I might have dumped photos into that one.
Garden extension, hold on.
Yeah. Looking at. Well, he's
Well,
looking for that. I
that's-
did a couple things. I put some trail markers down there. We need to buy some more of them. I got about 25%. I thought I had enough. I forgot that you have to put them on like both sides of the trees, just in case people are walking in the opposite direction. So I put those up. I need to get in there. Oh, it's got snow on the ground now, but the original trail actually goes much farther to the back of the property instead of along the railroad track. And so that's where I kind of routed the trail where the original trail was. So if the snow melts, I just need to make sure that it gets, I'm gonna blow it off just to kind of like create a trail so that people can hopefully start using that and stomping it down a little bit. And then the other thing that I did is I put a couple of plank bridges to the other side of the Bridge 1 to replace a couple of those plank bridges. You see those, Joan, yet? Have
No,
you
I haven't
walked
seen
out
them.
there?
I haven't seen those yet.
Yeah, they're a good addition.
Yeah, I think
Upgrade.
it's gonna be like one more I think we've got to put in, but yeah, I think it helps out a little bit.
Where it's really mucky in
Yeah.
that corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think I think it's pretty well wrapped up down there. Obviously, we wanted to do some signage and stuff. That's part of a bigger project.
Guy in town, Doug Adams, should be giving us some signs. I sketched out maybe about a half dozen signs at like 2 Community Garden and 2 Parker Park. And he's gonna print us out those signs and we'll see what they look like. He's one of the folks that has a plot in the community garden.
Okay.
And I think they got the first plot, and you can see the green sign right in front of the plot that's
Oh, yeah,
like
yeah.
edged out. That's what he's gonna do.
I see.
Does he, my just concerned about the signs that are off in the woods and stuff is making them stable.
Yeah.
Could you do a vertical one that we can
I
put on
can,
like a 2x, mount onto like a 4x6? or
yeah,
something?
I can ask him. I could see if he might have printed these already, and we'll see what they look like. And they're actually, it's on HDPE, it's like PVC.
Yeah.
And they're really super duper sturdy, but I see what you're saying is people
just
could
so, you know,
take
people-
them. Yeah.
So here's,
Oops.
okay, so this was a proposed trail system that we might do with multicolored trailblazers. So this is the existing Parker Park Trail coming down. The parking lot is off to the right. And so Jason, you marked this blue, right?
Yep.
Okay.
In one direction, it's pretty much all the way blue in
All right.
one direction.
And so this red section here, this is where bridge number 1 is, okay? And so this is the new trail that we cut. and then you'd have to cross the garden to get to bridge number 2. Now, there is also the ability to put a red trail along this side of the brook, so that you can have a red loop, a blue loop, and a yellow loop, and we can put signs that identify this on the kiosk when you come in, and then maybe at each bridge, we
Yeah.
could, and it give you a "you are here" kind of thing. And so people would be able to look at whatever trail they're on, see what color they're on, and they can decide what type of loop they want to do. And so that's the plan, right? You have red, yellow, and blue
Yes.
markers.
I do.
Yeah.
Lost down there.
And we do kind of want to
You can see the
just
school.
look to clean up that proposed red trail and stuff for
Yeah.
like, for the fishing derby and stuff, right? So we can get people on both sides.
Poison ivy path, is that what we're gonna name it?
No, it's not that much. There's no poison ivy here.
Red Rash
There
Road?
is- There is some poison ivy up there. And you can right now walk along the stream on both sides.
Yeah.
It's just,
It's awesome.
so it'll be fine. Okay, oops. Yeah, so that's all, that was the only
Do we
picture I had of
have
that.
enough, I'm just curious, you know where the blue trail makes the loop?
In the back, yeah,
In
to the left,
back.
yeah.
Do you see that, the furthest left blue trail? Do we have enough property to do that?
Plenty.
So, we have.
Is it our property?
Yep. Or,
Well,
go ahead, sorry, George.
no, it's fine. It's part of the, well, what used to be the Natticook Trust, now it's the Agrarian Land Trust or something like that. And we have deeded access to it, so we can create trails or bridges.
Oh, okay.
So, and that's how we were able to, actually, this bridge here is on, you can see this is our Parker Park here.
Yeah,
The bridge is on the border, it's actually probably on, a lot of it's on their land, and the same with this bridge up here is on their land already. So, and we have complete buy-in from them, and is it the Dreamer Farm? Is that what it is?
Yeah, Dreamer Farm.
So they want to encourage people to walk on their land and walk down to the river and go through their fields, so we are looking to create a path somehow to get to the other side of the brook over in this area somewhere, or maybe go around it. Somehow, we have to figure out how to get in there.
Grab that from me so you can.
Yep,
Here you go, George. Oop, 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 same thing. Let go, right there, yeah, right there. So there's a trail map right now. We actually GPS the trails, put them up in OpenStreetMap so that they're like available to the public. You can get them on all trails now. And what George is saying is that the property line, Harry, kind of runs, you can't see them on here, but it kind of, all this kind of tannish area is pretty much, for the most part, the easement that we have. So it actually goes all the way down to the river.
yeah. Where's the trestle?
Go ahead.
no, you show with the arrow.
Where's what?
The trestle?
Trestle,
The trestle.
up
Yeah,
right
right there,
there,
yeah.
right there, yeah.
Okay,
And then below that, it extensively floods in the spring.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, you can't really get access along that trail down to the river. It'd be
You'd have to
real
go
tough to
into
put a
their,
trail.
they have a farm road that goes to the river.
right.
If they want people to.
Right, so we need to go over and start from their side and then look across and move backwards towards our side to see what the best way is, because, so that's something we need to do. And,
So I'll reach out to Dreamer's Farm again, just to make sure that that's still in their plans and
And that's
stuff, then we can put a
next
plan
spring,
together.
I mean, we're done with that area.
After the dock at Dara Pond is done. So we have to stack these ideas.
Right, and
The
So-
fishing pier.
We're
So,
done in 25 goals.
we've been talking with the Historical Society, and I actually, when I bought my wreath the other day, I was really pushing this with Steve. So for example, at where the trolley, where the trestle is, it would be great if we had a QR code right there, you know, where if you clicked on it, it could maybe show pictures of the old trolley, you know, describe the, you know, the trolley and how it, you know, went from Nashua to Manchester and people took it, blah, blah, blah. So what we're thinking about doing is putting, when you got to the kiosk at the start, you could say there's 7 informational QR codes, and, you know, at that one, maybe it's 5 of 7. So it would give maybe the kids or whoever's walking, you know, they want to go find all 7 of them, and so they have to explore the whole thing. And so we would do that here, and we could do it at Morris Falls. Some of the information could be repeated, do you know what I mean? But what we need to do is have him mind dump it, put it on a file, we put it on our page, and they can just link to it. So that's.
We've got our intern.
We got our intern, that's a perfect intern job.
Right,
Right on.
so that's.
That would be
the goal.
awesome. I mean, that would be really, really
Be
good.
good for the intern to
Right, I mean,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
put on a
say,
resume.
like say Lonely Fort, right, that doesn't get much, right? Well, we could put something out there with the duck houses, blah, 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 describe, but it's some, yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Well, it's-
Quack, quack, quack.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the goal for next spring with the intern, as well.
Good.
Okay.
Next on the agenda is the Talarico open space deed. So Reggie's been working there. They've already done the initial clearing.
Do you have more
For
pictures
the
to show,
subdivision.
George?
If you want to see pictures of that, I can show them, but you
Too
can,
depressing.
oh,
That plan is not recorded yet, so, I called him 2 or 3 weeks ago about that, and he said he was waiting to get the property from Seth Miller and do that whole transfer, but that plan needs to get recorded pretty soon.
Well, it's clear cut now.
Yeah, so I mean, it's cleared out where the development is, but I guess, what are the next steps for getting the a deed over for us?
Well, that's where I think that the plan needs to be recorded, so that he can do all this, I think.
Gotcha.
So he can do all this paperwork. He also has to get me a restoration bond, but he's doing a lot of work, so that brings down the cost of the restoration bond. And then he'll need a road bond.
So Joan, the Board of Selectmen voted on the transfer of ownership of the back 40 of Talarico to the town of Litchfield to be managed by Conservation Commission. When does that get signed, sealed, and delivered? Is that when the plan gets recorded? Or is there another hoop that we have to jump through?
When the plan gets recorded, oh, that's a terrible, depressing picture. When the plan gets recorded, they should be cutting out that piece and they should be making up a deed that references the plan number in the deed of that open space.
But I thought the deed, what did you get, John, what did you guys vote on? Do you remember?
I was just gonna look at my notes and see,
Yeah.
I don't recall it. I mean, I recall it, I don't recall the specifics.
I think it was September 20, I think it was the second meeting in September.
So did they actually do a lot of blasting back there? Did
Oh,
you guys
yeah,
hear?
every day.
So, yeah, this was before Thanksgiving, so you're looking, so to your right would be the houses on Pearson, and this is right before it takes the corner, so you're looking back, and then behind the trucks, if you take a
Oh.
right behind the trucks, you go to Morrill, okay? So this is looking north, let's say, and so they were blasting up here to the right.
It's all ledge in there.
It's in ledge, so they needed to blast in order to put in their, the drainage pipe that's going below. So they did take, I think Reggie said when he did the tour that they were basically gonna clear cut that area. So just off to the left, as you're seeing here, there's that pond or the wetlands is down behind, to the left of those trees. And so this is,
Wow,
again,
they
looking
lowered it,
straight.
huh?
So this was the hill that you had to walk up and over, and the stream is actually to your right, so we're looking back at Pearson Street. You can see the backyard of somebody in Pearson there. So this is the hill that they said they were gonna have to take out 14 feet or 20 feet or something like that. So when we did the tour, we walked up and over that hill. And this is just a little bit farther down, looking back out, and behind, so I don't have it, sorry. So I don't have any more pictures of, but behind where I'm standing here and off to the right, where they put in the retention pond. So that was, they had to take off the top of that hill and dig down like 20 feet or something for the retention pond. So they're making pretty good progress, putting this stuff in. They start early, almost before sunup, and finish after sundown. So the only time to really take a look is on the weekends. So, I go out and take a look every weekend, but it's moving along. They've got a huge crew out there, and it's making progress.
Yeah.
So the retention pond that you're saying to the right is
Yeah,
not the big one,
yeah, it's the big one.
it's the big one, so you're way down the end of the
Yeah.
street.
I have some earlier pictures, I think, of the retention pond, but they're a lot earlier. It got deeper. Yeah, I don't have any.
That's okay.
Yeah,
So this is the open space deed, right? So we voted to take the lot as described by the lawyers, that's what the motion was.
Okay,
So what was in the deed was accepted.
cool.
okay.
Will we get notified when that goes through? I mean, it'd be nice to
You should, yeah.
just follow up on that every once in a while.
Yep.
Gotta
Yeah,
get
it'll
out
be
there.
nice.
and-
I'll ask Kim what the current status is and have her, reach back
She's
out.
not in next week, I'll give Reggie a call.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just here, I assume they'll have pretty much the roads finished relatively soon, so we'd be able to have.
Because we gotta get our
access
ski
to that
jump
in the spring.
installed down there. That's a good hill.
Yeah, it is.
Sledding.
It's like the only hill in Litchfield.
Oh, we could make a good sledding hill.
You know, it'd make a good sledding hill. Under the power lines where he went through the pricker bushes a couple of weeks ago and got torn
You
up.
want to shred up the kids.
Which property?
That's for the Corning Farm easement, which is next.
Oh.
Yeah.
We'll talk about. Any other discussion for the Talarico?
You good, George?
Yeah.
Yeah, next we have the Corning Farm
I have a
riverfront
question on
easement.
that. If we're gonna talk about money, should that be a non-public?
Yes.
Yeah, we're not talking about that right now.
What are we talking about then?
Well, I mean, we're
We're
just talking about, so Jason and I did a survey of the property, looking at, potential trails and stuff we can put in. So directly behind the condos, it's pretty tough right now for briars.
Well,
There's places that we can put a trail in. and
That's
stuff.
where, I just sent to Stephen Walker, it's interesting, there's a easement, and it's deed restriction conservation easement to us with a third-party enforcement of DES and Fish and Game. And I sent it to Stephen Walker, he's not so sure that Fish and Game and DES were ever notified of this, so he's gonna check on that. But there's that wooded parcel just off the trolley track that's wet, that's supposed to be conservation.
Where it's all brushy.
Yeah,
So they do have some drainage ditches through there and that are pretty deep.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, it's beautiful property. I mean, it'd be real nice to put in some good trails through there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
but not
Yeah,
to over-
especially up along
But not to
the-
overdo it,
Well,
trails.
No, I mean, we're talking about just extending the current Moore's Falls Trail system to put a loop through that property.
Yeah, because the trolley truck does go right up into their property.
Yeah. And what we were hoping is to, from the current parking lot at Moore's Falls, to be able to take a trail off to the right rather than following everybody down through the river, to make a nice loop of it.
no.
We get our sidewalk.
What's that?
Well, when you get the sidewalk, then they can go that way. then sidewalk.
Yeah, I mean, right from the parking lot, we should be able
Yeah.
to go from it.
Now, are we trying to get an easement on that property or trying to take it over completely?
Well, Reggie's idea is, he wants to maintain ownership, and he wants us to acquire an easement, but that doesn't really make a lot of sense.
Well, I know he kept pushing, well, I'm concerned about liability, I'm concerned about,
Yeah, so I mean, we will, we can discuss that more in non-public, but I just wanted to talk about the fact that
I
we,
mean, it's a nice piece of property,
Yeah.
and, you know,
so we just have to make sure it's something we all agree on that we want to try to pursue, and then we'll figure
Yeah.
out the path forward.
Yeah, what Matt was talking about is the existing trail goes like this, and then
Right.
comes around, and then comes around like back like this.
Right.
So we're just kind of looking to see if there's a way that you can have a trail, Matt, something like this, right?
Yeah.
Where you can just like loop back through. So it's not a lollipop type of trail, it's one where you can almost do a figure eight and not have to retrace your steps.
Yeah,
Might get you-
and then if we get that easement to be able to extend
Extend
the
the trail.
new part of the loop
Yep.
to come up through.
Then you just went right to the wetlands.
Yeah.
Be like that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do that, we could get 20 miles of trail in.
yeah. And we'll make that the
Jones
yellow
Memorial
trail.
Right, and so there's already an access road that goes down right about where you are there.
Yep, right in here somewhere.
Yeah,
Right there.
Yeah, there's a
yeah,
road
that's
there.
where someone's
Right, and,
farming the property, right?
Yeah,
yes, kind of, yeah. But they don't actually use that, so it's an old road that was used for access a while ago.
Grown up.
So, and there's, some people have been walking along the river, and there's also semi-game trails along that river area.
Yep, right around here.
Yes, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, it'd be nice area.
I'd like to get a bridge right here,
no,
right there.
To go over
it's a
the
big, it's a
RF.
big gully there.
There is.
It's a
Yeah,
big,
there
big
is.
ravine.
I've got an idea. Suspension bridge.
That'd be
Like-
cool.
like
I'm
in
watching
Boston.
YouTube videos.
Like the Boston one.
Yeah.
Just 2 cables.
So,
Yeah.
Sure.
No liability there. It's like a,
and there's an old, did you see the old car body down there, along the river?
Not in years.
I'll show you.
Oh.
Because this was gonna be part of my presentation later, but,
Oh, okay.
so,
John, aren't you glad you're a part of this group? I mean, we have a lot of
I think
presentations,
it's
show and tell.
restorable.
I think so too. So,
Oh.
there we, so,
I seen
this,
that.
you saw this, yeah, so it's down on the riverbank, and what's pretty nice about this
You
area
gotta
is.
put a QR code on that thing.
Exactly. Bonnie and Clyde,
Yeah.
when they went through New
It's
Hampshire.
got all the holes in it.
Exactly. So it's pretty interesting. So you can see down here, you could walk along the river and people could possibly fish, and have access to the river. It's a little bit steep, but if you go back towards Moore's Falls where that stream comes in, you have good access there. But, so there could be room for people to walk along the river and also high up along the field. But I just thought this
Oh, that's cool.
this car was kind of interesting, so I took a picture of it. Okay? And I don't know if you are really interested or not, but I did find my pictures of the drainage pond that they put in at Tel Rico. Do you want to see that?
sure.
Yeah. Just- Okay, so here we go.
Wonder if that will bring the price down on lot
Okay,
17.
so, sorry for different resolutions. So this is now looking, so before I was looking between the road up and the hill was up off to the left. This is now, the road turns and the cul-de-sac is out to the right, and around this bend is going to be where the drainage pond is. Okay, so this is the drainage pond. This back line of trees here, so it drops off steep behind there down to that brook. So this is the drainage pond. I don't think it's 100% complete.
No, I went out last weekend, they've done a lot of work on it since then.
Yeah, so, and then just as looking back, they stripped the topsoil and they're gonna, they'll sift it, they're gonna sift it over here. I mean, that's standard practice, okay, and that's it. So, so we just have a couple pictures of.
They got the outfall there.
Yeah, they did put the pipe in. That was just around Thanksgiving time when that one was taken. So I just thought I would.
Thanks.
Found it. Okay. All right.
Oh, you have another presentation now?
Well, when it's my turn.
Okay.
Need to construct the agenda that way, so presentation.
No, John, we need an A-B switch, or ABC switch. We can all plug in and just go like this.
Yeah.
Old school. Maybe I'll order one.
Well, budget check-in is next.
$29.
Jason, did you put your bills in?
No, I gotta get my bills in for the bridge too. By the way, the bridge, go ahead with the budget update, but I think on the bridge, we're way under.
Way under.
Oh, yeah,
Way
we are, I think we're still.
We can
I
put
don't
2 or
think
3
we
more
hit,
bridges and the
10,000
chairlift.
yet.
So the bridge money comes out of the bridge fund.
The bridge fund.
Yeah.
Yep.
We have 1438 in this budget, so can I buy the dog bags? And nobody ever got back to me.
Oh, yeah, we wanted to get, we want to do dog bags, and I'd also like to get a holder for the dog bags too.
Where are you gonna put that, at the car?
That's what we have to discuss, I don't know if
The
it
holders
makes.
have gotten pricey.
Excuse
Well,
me?
everything's going up. The holders, you mean the stanchion that holds the dog bags?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, they've gotten pretty pricey. I
But
forget what it
Joan,
was.
I don't know where you're getting the bags from, but if they have those as well, that might be.
Yeah, that's what they do. And I sent an email to Kevin Brown to see if he gets the bags any place with a discount, and he never got back to me, so we'll just go with the.
Yeah, so
So
we
company
have,
been
so if we're gonna do
waste
that, we
people,
gotta
dog
discuss, do we just put a poop bag holder at Parker Park, or do we want one in the garden as well?
I don't think we want one in the garden, because then we'd have to have a garbage pail there, and, I'm a big proponent of,
We should not have one at the garden.
you
Yeah,
know,
Right.
that was my thought.
Yeah, just at the Parker Park kiosk.
Yep, so we do one there, so that would give us, I think we should maybe order 20 rolls of bags.
okay.
And that's all in support of the bridge, so that should be able to go under the bridge
Oh,
budget.
okay. Well, I'll email you the price.
Yeah. Do you have a rough idea? Maybe we should just do a quick vote on that, just well, I mean, we already approved everything, right? So we're good. I mean, as long as the price is reasonable, I say we just move
Yeah.
forward with
You
it.
could put, you could put the thing, the poop bag thing at one of the bridge locations.
Not a good idea.
Yeah, I think right in the parking lot, because we
Okay.
could put
All right.
actually, that brings up another point. Should we get a
Jack,
can?
trash can there as well?
Let's try not to.
Carry in, carry out.
Yeah, because then,
Yeah, so that's more that we have to
I
maintain.
do like the trash can at Moore's Falls, so I
It
think
did
that
do-
it
it did
has
a-
done its job.
That did a good job.
Yeah.
We can try it here.
Because the highway department's not gonna be real thrilled with another area
Yeah.
to go to.
So we can see how it goes, and again, we have the bridge budget if we need to do it.
Have waste removal come in every week?
Yeah, we'll get waste, I meant for the actual garbage can, but yeah, maybe we'll set up a waste service.
Okay.
All right, so that next gets us to budget check-in. So, just need to prioritize final buys and what we had. One of the top things we wanted to get was the counterbalance for the tractor. Did you end up ordering that, Jason?
I didn't order it yet, but I'll do it this weekend. Like, we put together, based on the meeting last week,
Yeah.
we put together some notes with the top 10 list.
Mm-hmm.
I can order all that stuff this weekend.
You have
For George.
1438 in the budget plus, well, your bill comes out of the,
1438?
yeah.
Yep.
Your money comes out of the
We'll use
bridge.
all of that.
Yeah, that won't be a problem, is prioritizing what we want to get. So I guess just, so we've you know, got our list of our top ideas for that. Does anybody else have suggestions of things that you think we need? So, I mean, we're looking at things like some stuff we need for the tractor, extension pole for the pole saw, a hedge trimmer.
Face shield,
Face shield. for the
Well,
hammer.
we got that.
We should take a look at that and see how,
Yeah.
hedge trimmer we add in, yeah, so fuel.
we need
True-
some
true
true fuel.
fuel.
Yep. We're just about empty on the true fuel.
Okay.
And how about that, I sent you the link for the solar battery charger.
Oh, that's right, too.
Oh,
So-
Thanks, Gary.
Yeah, this'll work, we'll just, I'll just clean it up and,
Those are pretty expensive.
yeah.
I got rid of the cooties.
Yeah, so that gets us to
That's great, yeah.
another point there. So we also have the supplies for the gardens, so to address the water supply. I'm not sure what that total would come to, but another point I wanted to raise for that is we're not asking for anything from the folks from the garden, so I think it'd be appropriate to ask for donations to help fund some of that stuff. We can make it voluntary, but I'm not sure how that works for bringing that in and stuff, if we have to report it or anything.
Yeah, donations go to the general fund, John. How would that work? Have to be friends of the community garden? Or how would it
Do
work?
they have a fund now? No, right?
No.
No.
So we'd have to establish, I believe the proper part, we have to establish a fund to put it into.
Yeah.
It's a revolving fund, is that
Yeah,
the?
something like that, something similar to what the Rec Commission has for their events. They take fees and donations. It has to come in, the donation would be given to that entity, it'd be received by the board, like when they would deposit into that account, they would expect it.
Jill, what's that training budget we have that I always see on the budget list? It says Conservation Training Fund. Is that a fund that we can add money to?
Seminars, annual meeting, training.
No, it's a special one. It's a special fund. It's like the
Oh,
cons-
on the other, I didn't print out the,
yeah, the other spreadsheet that gets
Yeah.
sent around?
But that may be restricted what you can use it for.
Yeah.
But
the
how
words
hard is it,
education fund.
how hard is it to create one of these funds?
It's just it's a warrant with something to be, a warrant article. to
Oh,
do it.
it's an actual warrant article?
Yeah, and the warrant articles are coming in front of the Board of Selectmen
Yeah.
Monday.
Yeah.
What do we actually spend on the garden? I mean, other than the tractor, I mean, the tractor.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's obviously a lot, but if we're talking about putting in a permanent water system, I mean, it's gonna be several $100s.
Okay,
Yeah, irrigation.
And if we, potentially want to get a rototiller and stuff to support it, I mean, rec has some needs for it and stuff too, but I mean, there's definitely can be some good expenses that should, probably, we shouldn't be eating all of that, right? So we're offering the garden as a service, so I don't mind. I don't necessarily know if we want to charge not a registration fee, but whatever, an annual fee for the garden, but I think if we have a fund where people can
it's gonna be
donate to it, I think.
kind of a tough sell.
Well, I mean, people are
Shouldn't
using it, so.
Shouldn't rototill.
I know we shouldn't rototill, but we still have to prep new lots
And
and stuff too.
people have done, well, new lots. People have done their own lots. One guy has it like really smooth.
Yeah.
Others don't.
Yeah, I mean, you have all different levels of
Yeah.
farmers there, right? From people that have never done it before to people that are very experienced. And that's the idea, it's a community garden.
I guess if we do decide to put in the water system, we could just say, we could ask them if they'd like to contribute, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, I just
Yeah.
want to make sure we're covering it properly.
Okay, or have them buy it? No.
Nope, it's still could be accepted as a donation.
Right.
Accepted as a
However,
donation?
Okay.
You could accept
it's
it as
not
a-
our property,
Whose property is it?
Farms.
the farm, and we have an easement on it.
Right, but you're accepting on behalf of the community garden, which is
Yeah.
an offshoot of you guys. Now, they could make a donation to, if it's material, things, not cash. I suspect they can bring a donation in that name to the Board of Selectmen, they can accept it, and it just becomes your stuff. So if someone goes out and buys a pump, tank, and, you know, maybe that way, and I'll run that by the TA, but.
Yeah, so we have a small pump, right, and, oh shoot, I donated a battery.
You just want to start shit.
Yes,
Strike that from the record.
so we have a battery, we have a pump, right, and we may be buying a, like a $50 solar panel, which comes with a battery tender logic with it.
Solar panel and
Solar
some
panel.
hosing, I mean, it's a
Okay,
lot of small stuff,
so
but it's it'll add up to a few.
We're
$100.
$150, $200 into this, right, which isn't a huge thing, but we're just thinking going forward, if we're making continual improvements to the garden,
Yeah.
should there be, some means for these people to help?
Yeah, because we'll probably have to put up some sort of lockbox for the pump and stuff to secure it and.
Yeah. But up to this date, the items that have been purchased through conservation?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so it's all right,
Yeah.
that's fine. I mean, she's out next week anyway, I can't ask her until she's back, but
Okay.
I suspect if it's a thing, it can be accepted to the Board of Selectmen and it's yours.
Okay.
But there may be we may have to do a motion that kind of says it that way, but if it's gonna be cash, you have to establish a place to put the cash.
Okay,
And I wouldn't suggest commingling with town assets, so.
Right.
right, yeah,
And the fund will have a purpose, and it'll have, the board of somebody the authority to spend it, but it'll be you asking for it, making a motion, agreeing, and then coming to the board and asking for it.
If it comes to that, I don't think we should do it this year, but if it comes to that next year, we could create a revolving fund. We could ask to put like $100 in it, just to establish it, and then if anybody does donate it, they could donate it to that fund.
okay, perfect. It's too late for this year, but next year. Well,
It's not too late for this year,
Well, we could do it by next week, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I could certainly, at the board meeting, we can raise it that you're thinking about it, is it too late to get it in? Because there is a financial, it's $100 impact, but there'll be a financial impact,
Yeah.
yeah,
so we can see.
okay.
All right, anything else, any comments on the budget? Next thing I had was goals. So we last meeting, I thought you had it on here. looking at
Shoot,
the right
I don't know if
one.
I plugged them in.
Oh,
Did
you know,
put
what,
them in?
I might be on the,
It's not on today's meeting.
Let's see.
I've got a copy of it somewhere.
I do
Oh,
it last.
2024 goals.
Yeah, I got the 2024 goals in there. Let's see what folder it's under. See who's quicker. Finance. Ooh. I didn't have any changes to the goals.
I just wanted to throw it up
Quick.
Number 7,
Folder 7?
I think, yep, commission yearly goals. Yep. Click
No,
on that again. Click
that's
on the-
interesting.
there you
It.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, cool. God, we gotta take some off the list.
We do have a lot of goals.
Mm-hmm.
Can you accomplish all of it?
Well, we failed miserably last year. We didn't get the milfoil done, right?
Yeah. For 19 for 20
But you
last year.
accomplished so much more, so.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, you're bridges, and you got this, you got that, so.
yeah.
All right, so we had for community outreach, obviously we wanted to do the fishing derbies. Hold another event like Joan did, the bird watching, and
I'm gonna do that one in May, so I'll need.
yep,
to fly
that'll be
around.
good. And then Harry set up the training. We definitely would like to keep doing that, the training through,
Like,
New Hampshire.
the pollinated garden stuff, yeah.
Extension.
Yeah,
Invasive plants.
Maybe that-
Oh, and then, set up booth at one of the festivals, so maybe Spring Fest,
Yeah,
we set up a massive kiosk and then just the regular goals that we had. Obviously, we want to continue with the community garden. Improvements to the community garden, which we just discussed. Have Dara Pond milfoil for next year. The new trails at Parker Park, so we're already progressing pretty well on that. Connecting Parker Park to Dreamers Farm, so I'll reach out to Dreamers Farm again, just to make sure that
Okay.
they're definitely interested in and start those discussions. Updates, signage, I mean, this is more of a larger project that will involve that we've already talked about, right?
yep,
So
it's already started, yep,
QR code thing?
yep.
Yep. Oh, and then, yeah, it's signage for the muster field. Remove the trouble trees at the river access, so Fred and George have already started working on that. But
Okay.
we have the Widowmaker there that we still gotta take care of.
Yeah,
We got a
that,
plan for that.
yeah, we'll plan maybe next week.
Okay.
It's gonna be like
Weather
50,
dependent,
it's 50 on Wednesday or something like that.
yeah.
Just be careful, it's a 2025 goal, you don't wanna,
No, we can, it's okay to complete 2025 goals in 2024. We can
All
still
right.
check them off.
Yeah.
Post datum,
then a winter
No, no,
fishing
no.
derby, that'd be a great idea. Dock at Dara,
Okay, the dock at Darrow, are you talking about in and out dock or?
yeah, so one that'd be a temporary dock that we,
and I checked on the permits that are required.
Oh, good.
So you can do, they have like a quick way to do it right now. So you're allowed to put in up to 30 feet perpendicular to the shoreline. I could do it right now, all I would need is the deed. Do we have a deed to that area? If not, I can
Probably.
work with them and make a phone call and probably just,
Well,
so it's pretty straightforward if you're only putting in one dock and it's all conforming.
yeah, the rec committee's the one that should have the deed with it, right?
Possibly. So, and we're talking with rec. Rec is behind it, okay, but we need a motion before we can apply for a grant. So I'm gonna speak to the rec committee on Tuesday about that. So we're well on the way for that.
And you need to go to the board of selectmen for their grant approval too.
Correct. So first, we need a motion from the rec committee that they're going to look for, a grant. And then we need to go to the selectmen and ask them if we can apply for the money, and then we're gonna apply. So, yeah, we're,
Ducks in a row.
yes. So probably 2 selectmen's meeting, no, we can't do it Monday because we won't have the rec motion, so the following.
I think it's the 19th is the plan. The grant round opens in January
Correct.
for the AARP grant.
AAR.
So, yep, so we're gonna have an age-restricted
Yeah,
dock system.
no,
The guy checking IDs.
the grant helps the community
Yeah.
and just, AARP members are part of the community and so whatever, I think it's good.
So that just
That
that
is
we have
true.
to have certain access to the dock and stuff too, like ramps and stuff?
No.
The goal of the grant is to try to bring more diverse recreational opportunities that span different age groups, instead of just all, for kids, you need folks other opportunities for folks at different ages. This would be great,
Yeah, that's
Oh, no,
real
it's-
nice.
Yeah, yeah.
sitting on the Dockadera.
Then the next item was just to give Lonely Fort Trail some love. We talked about that a bit too, because I don't know if we've looked at like the duck
No, we
boxes
haven't.
at all and stuff. We should probably take a look at that. But it is a pretty little trail. I mean, it's only like a quarter of a mile long or something, but it's nice. come up with a plan for the intern. That's something we'll definitely have to do over the next couple months. What's a process for that anyways? When do we have to like make an offer by the end of January or something, right?
Yep, so I got a note from the director this week, and the job description has been finalized. She has sent it out to colleges. We are free to hand it out to anybody that we want to as well. I know that you said you might have somebody that's interested, but I wouldn't mind posting it
Yeah,
around
no,
town,
we
because if we
definitely-
could get somebody around town, that's like bonus price.
Yep.
It's not full-time, so it's 25 hours, so you could,
15 hours.
15 hours a week, 15 hours a week, so you could work 15 hours a week for the Conservation Commission, and then work at Mel's or wherever for
And
the other hours.
Do we need to understand like restrictions on that position? Like, would that person be allowed to like operate any machinery or anything like that?
I don't think so.
Yeah. Well, I think we can, plenty of work to do without
Yeah.
that sort of
Yeah.
stuff.
Right.
So the marketing department will put that out as well.
Yeah, great. Then we have complete the DeRocha Farm purchase.
Knock on wood.
And then, once we complete that, we have to come up with a plan for the DeRocha property, what we wanna put in for trails and stuff. Restore monument at GMS. I'm not even, I know you've been talking about this, Joan, but I'm not even sure what that is.
Okay, there's a granite monument in front of the tree, which I just found the tag for the tree. It's some kind of crabapple tree, if I have it on my bulletin board. A big monument, granite, to Nancy Hendrick, and the cement that holds it, the roots have lifted it up like this.
Yep.
So we need to, if we can,
Level it out, is that what you want, looking for?
yeah, if you get your counterweight, we might be able to do it with the
Sure.
forklifts.
How large is it?
No, it's not that big, it's like
This big?
this big.
So, but it's something we could
It's granite,
lift up and end with the tractor, right?
but, and then it's got a cement base, that's the
The
problem.
Yeah, so,
forks.
so we might have to move it temporarily and
Dig it up,
then
yeah.
restore the base. That
Yeah.
sounds like what we need
Or-
to do.
Or
Do we have any restrictions being on school property or anything?
I don't know.
We
It's
can,
been there.
it's at GMS, so we can maybe just call the
check it
principal
out.
and say, we're gonna come on, this weekend and do it, yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like a simple weekend project we can do. Clean up the brush and bittersweet behind the old fire station.
I would request that if you're gonna do that, do it in February, because I get a lot of migratory birds back in there. It's one of my hot spots.
Yeah, I mean, we're not talking about, we're just clearing it out a little bit, right? It's really focused on the bittersweet. And
So you want us to wait
birds like
No, I want
until
you-
after they've eaten the berries?
No, I want to do it before, like February.
Oh, okay, so we can do it now if we wanted to?
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure we weren't waiting until February, okay, perfect.
Oh, no, you don't have to wait till February, but certainly before April.
Okay, got it.
Thanks.
And then the last kind of maintenance item we had was to clear some of the, for the upper part of the muster field, clear some lanes. This was what Fred was talking about, to have better visibility from 3A. You've already cleaned out a lot of the stuff along the edge of
Yeah.
that, so you can actually see it pretty well from it, but you're talking
Oh.
about maybe taking down some of the, a few of the
Burning.
dying trees and burning bush and stuff
Yep.
like that, so,
It looks good.
yeah.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
can
it
see
looks
it from
real good.
3A now,
Yeah,
the
I
muster
see
field.
people notice the truck up there when I park. Couldn't believe they can notice it. Because there's no foliage now.
And then just getting into some of our standard types stuff. One good thing would be to figure out if there's anything we can do for the riverbank stabilization.
Yeah, that's long-term. I talked to the state about that, I think I mentioned it here several times, that there are some grant funding for that. We just need an engineer to provide a plan. So I talked to Lou Karen probably a year and a half ago, and he said that he's got the ability to develop a plan, but just never went anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be a good one, because we're gonna eventually lose our access up to the upper mustard field.
Yep.
Yeah.
Did you have the Morseville signs on that list up higher?
Yeah, it's on there. I kind of like, we've got signage listed somewhere, but I mean, I think like that's the big goal is signage for all the properties to be
Well, I
able
mean,
to
the
refresh
existing
that.
signs, because I have a couple more of them in the office.
Yeah, so for that one, I think we need to discuss it, but the current design for those signs, like having the laminated papers and stuff, that's, you know, that looks good for a couple of years, but then
Isn't the
it's,
one at the kiosk has held up pretty well, hasn't it?
that one's held up pretty well, but it's more where you can't see people, so like, Londonderry and their conservation areas, they've got a design that I like a lot. It's a vertical sign mounted on a 4x6 post. It's just painted aluminum basically. Those are real durable. Plenty of room for a QR code, a small map, and some basic information. But those would be real simple to maintain. We got a post hole digger, so that's easily portable, that we can bring out to around any of the trails. So I think we just got to come up with a consistent, uniform design for everything that's, you know, preferably that have a, you know, 10-year plus lifespan. And then, like I said, the only other thing that might be good is to visit some other conservation commissions. We haven't really done that. I think Jason's used you.
I went to Londonderry last year, and I actually emailed the guy from Merrimack a couple weeks ago. And so I might go over there at their next meeting. If anybody wants to join me, you're welcome to.
Yeah, I think it'd be nice if we could get a.
When does
I
Merrimack meet?
think it's next week. He sent me an email. I think it's next Monday or Tuesday. If anybody's interested, let me know, but I was just gonna go there in Merrimack. I actually printed out a map of our conservation areas and handed it over to Merrimack, and we just like looked at the ones that were on the border, Londonderry, and looked at the ones that were on the border of Londonderry and Litchfield, just so that we kind of acknowledged. Same thing I was thinking for Merrimack, just introduce ourselves and, hey, we got these ones on our side. Yeah.
Figure out the good points for infiltration to Merrimack when we invade.
Exactly. I thought that was coming.
Work on a joint bridge.
Yeah. That'd be a-
Oh,
Ferry, we got the ferry, whatever year.
250, whatever the 250th?
Yeah, we're
Are
past
you on
that.
that committee?
I'm in charge of building a ferry to go across the
Okay, good.
Merrimack.
And out of cardboard.
I think we're gonna see if we could use the fire department's boat. I think that would be the
Oh,
most
that'd be
efficient thing to
good.
do.
That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Then the last thing we had is to clean out the filing cabinets.
I made the first pass.
Joan, you have one thing to do.
I made the first pass, and now I'm gonna go back and get a little more organized. But we do have, except for DeRocha, and we have all the land files are in real good shape, all the properties that we own.
Good.
That's nice to have my hand right on those.
Does anybody else have any ideas of things we might want to focus on for next year?
I think we got enough.
I think,
Yeah, it's a pretty good list, but it's, you know, it's,
you think?
Well, maybe something to add for future reference would be, I think we focus a lot on land, but our aquatic resources in town, like Nesson Brook, Chase Brook, those types of places, and, habitat and things of that nature. Obviously, the results from the fish survey I saw, I think that's pretty telling, because I think those waters seem to be doing pretty well in terms of fish habitat, and that may be something to look at down the road. Whether it means, and that could be, from monitoring culverts to, do tree plantings, maybe in certain areas that need it, and just, habitat in general, so something to think about.
Yeah. As far as maintenance, like I know, like Chasebrook has a lot of beavers
Right,
in there.
yeah.
Is that something that's good that we want, or is it something that we need to?
Or, yeah, I don't know, I mean, if that's something that, we need to address, or, but I don't know, it's just an idea.
That's good.
Yeah.
I think,
Some
like I
sort of-
said, I think, our water resources are important
Yeah.
as well,
Yeah,
so.
I
Some
would
sort
throw
of
down-
impact, maybe on Chase Brook because of the beavers? I mean,
Do what? Say what?
part,
What are you going to do?
just, see what they are contributing, or are they causing more of a problem, or?
Well, they don't stock Chasebrook anymore because of the beavers.
Well,
I'm
not so
assuming
much
that's what
stalking, but,
Yeah.
they're damming up the stream. Is that causing a problem on people's property? I mean, I haven't heard anything, but
Talk to the road
that
agent.
doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, the road agents.
I mean, that's a kind of type of thing that maybe that we should.
Matt, to
Consider.
go on what Michael was saying, maybe we can just add one goal to the 30. I wouldn't mind, let's just once, for maybe a couple of locations, just get some water quality testing done. Be interesting to know what it is in Nesson Brook. I've got a connection,
And
we
Darren,
can get that done for free.
Are we sure we want to do that?
yes, we,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you would want to.
Thank you.
That would dip our toe in the water to what you were talking about.
To start.
Yep.
What about the,
No pun intended.
what about the gentleman we had that came in, was a biology expert or something?
yeah, what happened?
Yeah, what happened to him?
Oh, the new.
he's.
Oh,
a
yeah,
member of the-
he's, I reached out to him a couple times. He said he's been intending to come. I forgot to reach out to him
But
this
that'd be a
meeting.
perfect candidate to work on something like that.
Yeah.
Or he could guide us, yeah.
Yeah.
Reach out to him, yeah, if you can reach out to him again and just see what his intentions are. If not, could use another alternate.
Yeah.
He'd be a good leader on that group.
Yeah, absolutely. Do we have a limit on the number of alternates we can have?
I don't think so.
I mean, we don't want 20, but, as long as we're good with 3 or 4.
Well, with respect to alternates, you have Bob, Bob was it? Rob.
Rob.
Rob,
that's
that's
what I'm
what we're
talking
talking
about.
about.
I have a key fob over there for, I mean, picked up yet neither.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he was just really busy with work over the summer, but, we
Yeah.
gotta get, I gotta get ahold of him and see if he's serious or.
He had some good background,
Mhm.
Yeah.
perfect for that.
Oh, yeah. Really good.
All right, properties, checks and maintenance, next. So we have obviously spent quite a bit of time at Parker Park, Morris Falls, and the fishing access. Anybody been to any of the other properties?
Page Road, we have a property on map 5, lot 196. I didn't bring my tax map when I moved over. I have about 10 more signs that say, like the one at the Lonely Fort that says maintained by the Conservation Commission. I bet there's like this.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see the one on Page Road. There was one there, but I go back and look closer.
There's a very small conservation one off of Page Road, I thought.
By, near Albuquerque?
Yeah, at the end. Because I went and looked for it one day, and I'm pretty sure I saw a small
Because
little sign.
it's white and
Yeah,
it's about like this.
I think so.
Okay, probably so, yeah. That's a property that we had that abuts Chase Brook. And that's all I have.
What about stage crossing, is anybody?
Oh, yeah, stage crossing, we still have the signs that Matt got, that Matt had made up. we have to get up there and make our presence yearly walkthrough with our map. Between the two of the condos there, there's a big space.
Oh.
And then we can get to the back parts that we own. And that monument that's out there, you said, Jason, you know where, kind of where it is? Did you flag that better?
Yep.
That was pricey to be put in.
And actually, that land almost ties into our other land, right?
does.
There's only a very small little strip that someone else owns, right? Yeah.
What do you mean? We own.
To Rocher, I'm sorry, it almost ties into Rocher and something else that we own, I could have sworn. But it's,
Not Stage Crossing, yeah, we're up there a little bit.
Birch.
oh, it could be Birch.
This ties into Birch. This
Oh,
ties
that's the
into
one,
Birch.
yeah.
Yeah,
See what you're saying.
yeah. Sorry.
So maybe we should plan a walkthrough of some of these properties we haven't been to for a while.
Yeah,
I know I haven't been up to Birch for a while.
Yeah, I walked it when I first joined and I haven't been back.
Yeah, it's a nice property.
It's a nice
Yeah,
place,
hopefully, I mean, when we get to Rochers, I mean, there's a lot of, there's potentially a lot of trails we can put in back through there. I mean, there's a lot of existing, or older snowmobile trails and stuff. I don't think they've been maintained lately, but, you know, there's definitely some existing old trails that we could leverage. Member input, Fred,
On maintenance,
on anything.
George and I worked cleaning up a couple projects this week. Field, he ran the tractor and raked up the limbs, and we loaded the limbs and put them in a pile off the field. And then we went down to the river access and cleaned up the residual from the blow down, and we took down, there were 2 dead trees that were blown down the same day that we were down there, so it was good timing, we cleaned those up too.
That was straight across from the fire station there.
Yeah.
So this is some pictures George
And
took.
and then this was the trees that were in the muster field, so we took those out, and then we did.
Cleaning up my mess.
Yeah, we cleaned up your mess, and then we raked it, so we took all of the limbs out of there so that we'll be able to mow it again. So we raked the whole area.
Yeah, it looks real good.
Yeah, ready for winter,
It looks great up there. It,
yeah.
Yeah, and so Fred cleared out a whole bunch in the top right of that picture, along the top of that ridge there, so
Yeah,
it's.
yeah.
it's-
Mhm.
I
So,
stopped at the evergreens because I
sorry.
didn't know if people wanted to leave the pines, because it's all hardwood. If you didn't
Oops.
want to leave the pines, some evergreens in there.
yeah, so
So, yeah,
we
right
stopped
there.
up over in here.
Actually, can you go back to that sign picture?
I was going to in a minute, yeah.
Oh, okay.
it's all part of the,
Yeah,
All right. We'll turn it over to George now.
are you sure?
Yeah. Why don't we,
Okay, so this was so Matt was talking earlier about the vertical signs that he likes in Londonderry. So this is an example of one of those signs that he said he liked.
they're just really easy to install and,
I
you
wonder how
know.
pricey they are with all that information on them.
I think you could get those for, I'm gonna guess like $30 or something like that, $35. Like, we would actually print them out. Remember the river access. So if you go down the river access, the big kiosk with the map.
Yeah.
Like, I created that big map, and that was like 24 by 36, and I had it mounted to, sheet metal or something like that. And I think that was about like $110 for 24 by 36. I think that those could probably be done for $30 a piece or something like that.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that's a good investment, right? Because those signs should last 10 years.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so back onto my member input. So I did a follow-up with the New Hampshire, I sent this to you guys via email today, but since we're in the group setting here, might as well talk about it a little bit. So this is the results of the survey that they did of Nessoncag Brook and Chase Brook. And these are all the fish that they found between 3A and the dam, or what's left of the dam, behind Ray Peoples' house, okay? So very short area, okay? So now the bottom three are Chase Brook, okay? But, so they found, 2 American eels, 5 black-nosed dace.
Are you talking, that's like 100 yards or something
Yeah.
like that?
Yes.
200 yards, that's what you're talking
Right.
about, right?
Okay, bluegill, so, I don't know, I might have to send you another update. I told the guy, I read through this and I go, didn't you find a brown trout
That's what I
underneath?
thought too, because when I looked at it, first I was like.
I said, didn't you find a brown trout underneath the culvert? And he goes, oh, you're right. And so he put the brown trout
That was
in
the
there.
So-
biggest one, right?
Well, those are, it's on some big eels there, 36 inches? Is that correct?
I don't know, 30 to
Yeah.
36 inch, yeah. Wow.
That's not unusual.
Right, because this brown trout at 30 millimeters, that's 300 millimeters, that's like 12 inches. Okay, or 11.8
Probably
or
the
something.
brown trout left over from 2 years ago.
But,
Yes.
but there was like 13 or 14 different species that they found in that 100, 200 yard stretch.
I've never heard of half these fish.
Yeah, so they did find some pumpkin seeds and, bullheads and all kinds. And
Pickerel.
I did show you guys pictures of them going through it when I saw them. And
Yeah.
when they have questions about what is it, they put it in this like glass viewer and it really brings out the colors and they're able to see that.
Huh.
So, okay, so that was this.
Is a common white sucker a horn pout or a
No.
catfish
No,
or
no,
something?
no,
What is
they
that?
have the big sucking thing on the bottom of the mouth that they suck on the bottom of the stream.
And so it looks like they only found 3 in the Chase Brook area. These daces and bullheads. I don't know exactly where they did that measurement. I thought I'd be too much of a creep if I followed them from one location.
No,
to
they
another.
got XY coordinates on there, and we can map those suckers out.
Yeah. So I thought that was interesting though, so, that leads to, what you prompted about, looking at our, so let me get rid of this here.
They found
Okay.
largemouth bass on?
Yes,
Yeah.
in that brook,
Wow.
No yellow perch though.
no yellow perch, okay, so I get rid of those.
And this is from the dam to the,
It's from the culvert to the dam and behind Ray's yard.
Oh, from the
right?
culvert to the dam?
Yes,
Oh,
So 3A to the dam
the
behind
dam.
Ray's house, so
Wow.
that's probably,
it's not very far.
no, it's like
wow.
150 feet maybe, if that.
okay, so, so as part of that, let me see what I can do here. Where's my Dara Pond, shoot. Let me kill this 1 second. So I got in touch with those guys and there was 4 of them that were out there. And one of the guys, I'm gonna have to redo it. One of the guys was in charge of doing the study of Dara Pond.
Okay.
Oh, you're looking for the bathymetric?
Yes, well, no, I
I put it in folder 4. Can't find it, if that's what you're looking for.
no, I wrote up a document.
Oh, damn.
Shoot, I don't know where it went. All right, so, I talked to this guy, about Dara Pond, and he gave me a link to some studies that happened, in, one second, in 1985 and then in 2001, all right? So in 1985, they did a water clarity study, and you could see the disc at 7 meters at the deepest part of the lake. So you could see in 1985 that disc at 7 meters. They then did the next test in, I can't believe I had it all written out. I think it was in 2005, they did the study, and they could see the disc at 3.6 meters. All right, so the water clarity has gotten worse during that time. And then they just did the test again this past September, and they could only see it at 1 meter. All right, so we've gone from almost 8 meters to now only at 1. And so I had this written out, but I'll just speak to it. So as part of that data, and I don't know if I sent you guys a link to it in the email or not, but, I have it in my presentation, I'll send it again. So you can go, they have this mapping site where you can go and click on Darrah Pond, and you can see these studies from 85 and 2011. And this is gonna be a 3-year study that they're doing for us, so they won't actually publish the data for 3 years. But part of the stuff that they show in this study is there's a nitrate level or a nitrogen level in the pond. And so because of this clarity and because of the amount of nitrates that are in there, we started out as a eutrophic, no, that's the worst one. There's 3 different classifications for lakes. One is like crystal clear, and that would be like your lakes in the White Mountains. And the other one is like is a medium, and that's fine. And the last one is eutrophic, and it has a lot of nutrients in it and a lot of weeds, and it can get to the point where there's so many nutrients and so much algae that you can get algae blooms, and you can have fish kills, and so Darrah is headed in that direction. Now he said it's too early. He didn't really say that, but I mean he said it's too early to say, but it looks like it's heading that way. So this really piqued my interest, okay, because I'm really interested in Darrah Pond. So I went back and looked at these different numbers and saw that I'm asking him if he took this nitrogen level during this past study, and I'm going to start working with them to see if there's things we can do to help maybe pinpoint where we might be getting this phosphorus or nitrates from. And this is just me speaking, they haven't said anything yet, but this can come from fertilizers, right? You sow phosphorus and nitrates in your fertilizer. So we could try to educate the landowners around the lake.
How about the fields there, they get fertilized?
It could be the fields, could be, so what I'd like to do is do, coordinated studies of water samples at various areas in the lake to see if we can see if there's different phosphorus levels or nitrate levels in different areas of the lake. So the problem with this pond is that it's spring fed and it's not getting flushed. Do you know what I mean? There's no real flow through it, and so it is what it is. But and I also reached out to him and said, if we're at this stage right now where it's very low in oxygen levels and it's got all this matter in there, would we be doing harm to do a weed kill? Okay, because when you do a weed kill, you're killing these plants and you're adding more matter in there that could break down, and you could raise the nutrient level of it. So I don't want to propose we do something that could hurt the pond in the long run, or if so, I'm going to follow up with them.
So you didn't hear from him after that question?
I was talking to them at 4:30 today. Okay, so I have an active conversation. I mean, I sent those guys videos of them working in their, when they were doing their study, and follow back and forth with them, and they said to check back in with them when they'd give me the data, so, for the original study. And then the guy Max gave me this picture, which is very similar to the one I created. He said that the vegetation was so dense that they couldn't get a very good reading close to shore when they did their mapping. So he said my mapping might have been a little bit better because we did ours kind of late last year.
Did he have concerns about, well, I guess just with your conversations with him, because obviously if we kill all the vegetation there, it could impact oxygen levels too.
I brought that up at the very last, so I asked him a question about it and I have not heard back yet because he was probably done for the day at the time that I asked that question. So I just was talking with him this afternoon.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna look into this and I'll come back with, more information as I hear from them, but, it was kind of interesting. And I put it in just a little table and I put in the definitions of what the values were and what the different lake states were in this presentation, and
This is
so.
exactly what
Yeah.
Michael Croto was
Yeah.
talking about.
Be
You've already
interesting to know how-
achieved
how
the
we
goal.
compare-
Well, I just, I like to meet or exceed goals.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be it'd be interesting
Well,
to
we have
see
the
how we compare
performance.
to other, the
Review.
water, the ponds and lakes in the area too, like Robinson Pond and stuff too, because
Or
notice that's
Crystal
gotten
Lake
much-
in Manchester, I think, is pretty similar
Yeah.
to here, because I don't think there's an inlet or much of an inlet or an outlet there. I'd also like to know if there's any like mitigation things, like throwing a big gigantic fountain in the middle
For
of the
aeration.
water, does that
Right.
help like they have in Florida?
water feature.
Yeah. Plus it would go nice with the dock.
At least if they're drinking a cold one next one.
Yeah.
We have a hard enough time getting ice there anyways,
Yeah.
we don't need to.
Not to kill the
Circulate the
mosquitoes,
water.
we'll have to put DDT, yeah, no, we can't do that, they'll
Well,
clog the
that's
water
something
up.
for the marketing department.
Sorry, I just found my little, I apologize. It was buried.
I checked online, $40 we can get an ABC switch.
I wanna know anything about it.
Okay, so, this total KJEDL nitrogen is a combination of nitrogen and ammonia in the water, and so it almost tripled between 1985 and 2001, and that was the number that I was asking to see if he took, and since he did it in September, and these numbers were done in the summerish months previously, I'm assuming he took that number, so I was really looking to see what that was. And so that shows, and it just shows that the possible sources of this stuff. Now, this overfeeding of fish, I grabbed this off of Google, right, and this is for fish farms or something like that. If you have a problem running your own pond, this just shows you how that could get there.
Yep.
So we started out as this oleogotrophic, and then we moved to mesotrophic, and then we're moving towards, he said it possibly is moving towards this, so he didn't want to raise any alarms, but it's just saying that it looks like we're moving in the wrong direction, and if we can, as a group, try to stop it. I mean, we're spending a lot of, I'm trying to, revive that area and make it, so the town uses it again. So it'd be great if we could actually get the water clear.
It's unfortunate that DES won't let us rake that milfoil out of there and then dispose of it. So,
Did they say you could not do that?
yep, so you can't do that. Because that would sound like it would be a lot better than trying to kill off part of it and create.
Well, so, this is me, I am not a scientist, or, you know what I mean, and I'm just assuming that and so I am going to talk with this guy, and I said, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go out and research this and come in, with a little bit more knowledge on the subject, and then I'm gonna have a conversation with him, to see, what we should be doing moving forward.
Although at Robinson Pond, and I know at Massachusetts one time, they did have the big wheel that scooped it up, so I don't know what difference that would be when raking it.
Exactly. So, I mean, they have people come in and scuba dive and harvest milfoil. So, I'll talk with them, and see what I can find, but, and I'll put this little write-up, and I'll keep updating it. I'll put it in our documents here, or underneath the Jarrah Pond stuff, okay?
Great.
Yeah, that
And
sounds good, that'll be,
I think it's worth looking at, just to give you a couple other, so I know a little bit about this stuff.
okay,
The city of Manchester has something called the Urban Pond Restoration Program. It's part of a DEP, it's part of their sewer consent order. Kind of can relate to stormwater as well. there's a bunch of studies that were done in Manchester that have ponds that I think are similar
Okay.
to Dara Pond. Like the pond that's actually behind Wendy's on South Willow Street is an urban pond. There's not a lot of, there's not a stream, there's not an outlet or anything like that. So there are whole like management programs around that and recommendations to up the water quality. So I can point you to those because my company did a lot of those studies.
Perfect.
I'd be kind of interested to know, like I was saying, I was kind of half joking about the fountain, but that might be a mitigation measure. Certainly a mitigation measure will be two key things. Nitrates in the soil, a lot of them are related to lawn fertilizer, education related to that. And then also on the town stormwater program, runoff from streets and so on and so forth. We'd have to take a look at if there's proper BMPs, best management practices that are cleaning the stormwater before it gets into the pond. Things like that you would probably want to look at.
Yeah, and so this, we're extremely early on.
Yeah.
There's a number of abutters there that we could look at to see, are they performing best practices?
You should look at the town first.
What?
Look at the town first. And
The town is one of the abutters,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
Big one.
just draw a circle around the lake, there's.
and they have the horse farm right there too, so.
Yes, that, I just thought about that, yes, there's a horse farm right there, so. And that's why I wanted to maybe see about doing targeted samples, so we can try to pinpoint where it's coming, if some areas are better than others, and, but increasing awareness could help the whole thing. Okay, and I think that's all I had.
Woo!
All right, thank you,
I thought
George.
this was gonna be a short meeting, Matt.
Yes, what did I?
Nothing, quote unquote, we don't have anything on the agenda.
Mine wasn't on the, that wasn't on the agenda because it just came.
Wait till we
up.
get into non-public.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, let's make it quick.
Michael, did you have anything else?
Well, this is actually a question for Joan. Turtles. Turtle nesting sites. Are there any properties that we have on the conservation land that would be ideal for that?
One of the best places is adjacent to Nesson Brook by Albuquerque. It gets used yearly. Any place sandy, long sandy driveways, long conservation property, I haven't seen any.
My backyard.
So the reason I asked that question is the New Hampshire Wildlife Federation has a conservation committee. They are doing turtle nesting sites for nesting of turtles.
Seen a big one.
And so they're working with conservation commissions in the state and conservation areas to see if they can find places where they can do that. I didn't know if that was something that our town may be interested in doing.
I saw a large one out in Brentwood where they didn't want you to walk out there, it was a nesting site.
So-
Kind of need to be near water so they can come up and find a sandy location.
So when we were clearing the brush along the corner of 3A from from Parker Park to the community garden, there were a number
Yeah.
of large nests
In the bank.
right on the bank of 3A, right there. I mean, 5 or 6 or
Yeah.
more. So, it's really good access. I don't know what the exact study is.
Were they dug up?
Yeah.
They dug up nests?
Yeah, so they were fresh. They were this spring. They had just
No, I
laid the
mean,
rings.
did a raccoon or something come by and dig them up?
Not yet. But anyways,
Yeah,
that's
I
just a-
can, well, I can,
That'd be
we should
interesting.
talk to the folks at the Wildlife Federation, because I'm the secretary of the organization. And see if they would be interested in maybe you guys partnering with them on this type of a project. I think they would be interested in that, so. And that's something that they're doing, like I said, they've done it in another conservation commission property in one of
That would be
the
a good
towns.
Something
Property
else
near
for our
water.
intern to do. That would be,
Yeah, I'd be curious to see what the project entails.
Yeah, I can get more information.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So,
good idea.
Joan, do you have anything?
No, nothing more.
Barry?
Yes. I got hold of St. Francis, trying to see if we could combine a Let's Go Fishing program with St. Francis. The main person apparently left St. Francis, and I got hold of her, and she gave me some contacts, so I'm making some phone calls now. What I don't, these are the unknowns. I don't know if it would be, how bigger participation it would be between Litchfield and St. Francis. Now, because a lot of students that go to St. Francis don't live in Litchfield, okay? So, that's what I'm working on right now. What I'd like to do, I'd like to see one big class. If that doesn't work out, it may end up being two different classes, one at St. Francis and one over here, okay? But I've still got to do a lot of research.
Yeah, so are you thinking about like the community room here to do it, or?
I was thinking of Darapon Hall.
Okay. I mean, that you could fit a couple hundred people in there pretty easy,
Well,
right?
yeah, I mean, because there's the hall,
I got it.
there's Darapon, and from what I found out is the kids really don't, they enjoy sitting there, they enjoy handling the fishing rods, and they really don't care if they catch anything. They're just having a good time.
Yeah.
And the other thing too is that I've got the principal's email address and phone number, and I kind of hesitated to get hold of them. When we decide, when we're having a fishing derby in the spring, I'd like to invite St. Francis, okay?
Yeah, did we pick a date? Did we say, is it May 18th?
Well, as far as I know, we haven't picked any date.
I don't remember. I looked through the
Yeah.
meeting minutes and I didn't recall seeing it.
And on the Let's Go Fishing, it's gonna take me, and the other thing too is, I've been dragging my feet, but I am gonna get hold of UNH, and I wanna get something in, I was gonna do January, but I think I'm gonna target more for February.
Yep.
On the plants for birds, so.
Yeah, I think February, March, as long as we get it in before March, I think that's fine.
And as far as Let's Go Fishing, last year St. Francis had it on May 5th, which was probably 2 weeks before our fishing derby. So, I mean, gotta work out the dates, when, but I will let them know about the ice fishing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got that squared away.
Mhm.
Can
Now, the other thing, George had brought up that maybe we could run a little program on teaching the kids how to fish. Now, I'm being a old poke here. On Let's Go Fishing, what they use to teach the kids is spin casting. Okay, the push button.
Yep,
We have 99% spinning reels, which is a different, different approach. So we just have to kind of keep that in mind. But
yeah,
we'll see.
yeah.
It's something I gotta work on. And I've already made a couple phone calls and missed the person twice, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and I'll have to go and take account of, there are a number of push buttons we might have like 10 push buttons and
Oh,
10
in
spinners.
the reels?
In the reels, yeah.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Oh, John,
Yes, sir?
just a question I was asking these guys. If this Let's Go Fishing thing develops, can we set up, and I don't know the term, where kids can register on a single,
Sure.
Thing-
We can set up pitch
and
registration.
it would be a temporary thing? It wouldn't be a permanent thing?
Yep.
And that way, you know, if it, and this is targeting for next year, and if we get it up and running, and we'll know, you know, how many are
Yep.
gonna participate,
Yep.
then I can work with Concord. Now, the Let's Go Fishing program, they supply everything. The rods, the reels, the literature, and the worms. So, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, good. No, it sounds real good.
That's it.
All right. Jason?
Nothing.
Yeah, I don't have anything to add. George?
Can we choose a date for the
Yeah.
spring
Yeah,
derby?
let's do that.
Just so that,
Well, I don't mean to push, I mean,
no,
it's,
but so, I think I'm away early May. Plus, I think last year we did it the Saturday after Mother's Day,
yes.
okay, which would be May 17th. So I think if we could settle that that's the date for the fishing derby.
Sounds good.
I make a motion, we set the spring fishing derby date to May 17th, 2025, to be located at Parker Park with the 2 new bridges. An expanded fishing venue.
All right, Jason made the motion, Michael seconded. Any discussion? All right, all in favor, raise your hands.
Aye.
Hi.
All right, motion carries 700.
Thank you.
All right, John, did you have anything?
I have nothing, no.
All right, then that's the end of what we have. Do we have a need to go into non-public?
Yes,
Okay,
we do.
all right.
And we didn't do the minutes.
Oh, I'm sorry, yes, approval of meeting minutes. So we actually have 2 months of minutes to approve. I read through them. I was, okay, Joan, did you have comments?
I didn't get a chance to look at the video, but I don't know if anybody did. I'm just gonna go with it. I don't like them, but I'll go with it.
I just read them and I thought they were fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I read them and I didn't see.
I didn't see anything either. Were there any red flags that you saw, Joan?
Well, under the D, Corning Farm Riverfront easement, it says the discussion clarified that the easement would involve subdividing the property with one association managing it. I don't think that was the case. Then it says there was confusion regarding the payment for the easement, with the suggestion that the
Yeah, so
association would cover
That's what we
100.
want to talk about.
That's,
2 now.
like, I think the whole paragraph is a little bit off.
This is from the November minutes too, right?
That's October 3rd.
It's October,
Okay.
where we were unsure of what the, in current use and how it was paid and how much was there, and so we weren't sure, and so, are you saying that, the clarification was,
I'd go in non-public.
okay,
Well, this is about the minutes.
it's just about
That
the,
paragraph.
The details will still get it.
okay,
Okay.
all right.
Okay.
All right, so hold off on approval of minutes until we go into non-public? Is
You
that-
can approve now if you get, if that's the only well, I guess I can't vote for the October, I wasn't here, so it's not.
How about if we approve it with the corrections?
Well, we can't discuss it, really. Well,
Oh.
except that I think the whole paragraph is wrong, that first paragraph.
All right, how about November meeting minutes? Are we, everybody good for those?
Yeah.
I was fine with the November minutes.
All right, do we need to have a vote to approve the minutes, or?
Yes.
For November, yeah.
All right, any discussion on the November minutes?
Do we need a motion?
Let's put a motion in just to make sure we're covered.
Okay. Make a motion that we approve the November minutes.
Second.
All right. Any more discussion? We got a motion from Harry and a second from Jason. All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right, carries 601.
Joe?
I think, was it here? November? Yeah, it was. Aye.
All right, 700.
You were here.
Yeah, I was here.
All right, any other discussion before we go into non-public? All right, do we have a motion to go into non-public?
I'll make a motion to go into
I'll second it.
non-public.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Matt, you just need to read the non-public thing down the bottom there with the RSA.
Oh, okay.
Which one you going?
Okay, non-public we're made a motion to go into a non-public per RSA 91-A:3D for consideration of the acquisition, sale, or lease of real or personal property. All right, at this time, we're going into non-public.
Gotta take a vote.
You need a roll
Oh,
call.
we took a roll?
You had a motion and a second.
Oh,
And you
All
roll
right.
call vote? Roll call.
okay, roll call vote to go into a non-public. Michael,
Yes.
Joan,
Yes.
Yes.
Harry. I'm a yes.
Yes.
Jason.
Yes.
And
Yes.
John, okay. Motion carries 700.
A barn burner.
Yeah.